Despite the push to love or just accept our bodies, the summer body trend continues into 2023 with articles and social media posts sharing tips on how to get ready through dieting and exercise. We want to bring in Dr. Natalie Gentile from Direct Care Physicians of Pittsburgh back for another Wellness Wednesday. And you know, this term summer body really can be very toxic.
Absolutely. Your body's the same throughout the year, right?
Yeah.
So why is a summer body any different?
See, I say I bulk up for the winter.
Sure.
So to me, there is a such thing as a winter body. But but truly, I think it's because when the summer comes around, we are very exposed. Mm-hmm. You know, the clothing, especially as a woman, gets smaller. The shorts are shorter. Everything is less, and so you feel exposed.
Absolutely, and it's a very vulnerable position to be in. Plus, our culture I grew up as a 90s, a similar time period, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
In the 90s and early 2000s, I remember the Cosmo magazine. You'd get it out and it'd be, the bodies changing throughout the season, and to the summer body, it was always get ready for the summer.
Yes.
That was always this focus. And so, I mean, those of us who grew up hearing that from early childhood, it's no wonder that that's how we think even now.
It's really hard to break those things that you learn, especially in those very formative years. But how did this become such an unattainable aspiration? Do you think it was because of that messaging early on, like in the 90s and so?
Sure. So we've talked before on Wellness Wednesday about how much we value thinness in our culture, and we value a certain body shape. And so we've got to achieve that. Unfortunately, I mean, what I see as a physician is when we go through these cycles of, it might be unhealthy dieting, for example, we start to really affect our metabolism, our overall health, our chronic disease risk. So it goes from being something that's cultural to actually really hurting you long term.
I don't want to go too deep here, but like, who values it? Is it us? Because I don't know that it's necessarily who we think values it.
Right. So on an individual level, I'm sure there are a lot of us that don't value it necessarily, or those of us, though, might also not realize how much we value it, and we're just kind of trying to push that down. It's really what I say is a general, more mainstream, the imaging that's put out there. Again, these magazine covers, the things we're seeing on social media, that's where we're seeing it valued.
What I love that you do is you are so real and you make it seem so approachable, the way that you practice medicine. And so you actually shared a video, and we wanted to pull it up here to just show people at home, because there may have been a time in our lives where we thought, oh, having that summer body may have looked one way when we were younger, but this is what it is to you. It's just about being able to do.
Yes,
right?
So there's this whole thought process of body neutrality, looking at our body just for what it's doing in this moment, in this day. And it hit me the other night when I was catching fireflies with my kids, and I'm holding a camera, just, watching them, capturing this moment, but trying to navigate uneven terrain, right? And in that moment, I was so grateful for my balance, for my strength training, the things that I do to keep my body strong right now so it can have those moments and be present in them. And it is so drastically different than what it was when I was 18.
So how do you help your patients get to that point of body neutrality and erasing some of those messages we've learned?
So a lot of people talk about body positivity, which is, still somewhat linked to appearance. Mm-hmm. And this body neutrality type of approach is more, can we focus on the here and now of your body, the here and now of the way you're feeling, how you listen to yourself, when you feed yourself, when you move or take rest, right? Being more present in what your body is right now and what it can do, not what it can't do or how it looks. That's what we try to work through.
So it's kind of almost like treating our bodies like a car. Food is the gas that we put into the vehicle, and the maintenance is the kind of stuff that we need to do on a daily basis just to keep our bodies working, right?
And some people find that to be a valuable analogy. It really is what works for you, right? So if that's a valuable analogy, absolutely. Some people, though, that have maybe disordered relationships with eating or body image might want to even take it a step further and form some more intuitive ways that they eat or feed themselves or move, and that's an awesome way to do it too.
It's funny because I saw a lot of younger people, like teenage age group, really wanting to focus less on what their body looked like and more kind of like what you're talking about. But do you think that relationship with our body changes, or do you have hope for this next generation of kids?
I think that most of us are at risk of being affected by what we're seeing in the media. I think that there's not a huge way to escape that. All we can really do is lead by example if we are influencing or raising littles, and influencing or around and guardians of that age range. and just help them as much as we can, even if it's in the home, because what we're seeing out there, it's hard to make that go away.
Do you find that there's a balance between having this like a body neutrality or even body positivity, however you want to look at it, and also doing nothing? Because I do think that there's something, like we still have to take care of our bodies. It's still like loving them and treating them well, right?
I get that question all the time, and I'm so glad you asked it. You are allowed to have body goals. You're allowed to have health goals.
That's great to hear.
Right?
Yeah.
You are absolutely allowed to have those things. When it starts to trickle into a way that's detrimental to your health, it's hurting you in the long run, that's when we need to scale it back.
So it's okay to want to lose a little bit of weight, to get to a healthy place. It's just when it becomes toxic.
If we're talking about weight, I mean, the biggest question I ask my patients is why they want
Why?
to lose weight. And that is going to inform our decision and our process going forward.
It's so great. Love your bodies. Buy the bathing suit. Who cares?
Buy the bathing suit.
Right? Just do it. Just get out there. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you for having
Gentile. It's
me.
always great to have you here.